Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to buy all this 30-minute slow stitching page into a booklet. I've been thinking about this, what's the best way, and I thought I may try the ways that I think that might be workable. So first of all, I need to make a cover. So I just happen to have this low stitching piece that I made a while ago, and it's on some modifications on the interfacing patchwork blocks, and I think the size is kind of like matching and the color is pretty matching. So my plan is doing something like that. I like the edge is a little bit over to the page so it can cover perfectly, something like that. Of course I want to make the spine a little bit bigger, but the idea is like that. Should this be the front cover, this the back cover? I'm not quite sure. And should I add a crossing? Not so sure as well. Anyway, I will bind this first and then attach to the cover. So I have this fiber edge, the cut by the machines is on someone's scrap pads. Somehow I couldn't fold it away because it's so needed, so nicely cut it, and all this uniform size make me think of, oh, I should find some use of that. I know people use this type of straps to make a rug, but I have no intention to doing that, and I don't need a rug. So yeah, I use this to, I think I have done something before. Yeah, something like a collage, but can't remember. And so yeah, so I like to use this as a spine of the signatures. So I need 3 of them, and I need, so the page, the folded page here, another page here, and I like to leave that a little bit stick visible, and I will sew along here, and then here is make one signature. So I have six of them, so basically it's like that. And then I will think of how I attach to the lining of the cover, and then attach the lining to the cover. It's just in my mind that it might workable, but I'm not quite sure. Let's see. So first of all, as I say, stitch this into the middle strap. Okay, I have secured both sides using the pin. I first secured both ends and then the middle, so it can be lined up. When I sew them together, I insert the needle in between the page here, so I can hide the knot. Should I close up this as well? Maybe I should. Okay, let's start it from here. It's such a slow process that from making the page to finishing everything take time. But that's the beauty of slow stitching, because you're not hurried to finish off. You can actually finish off anytime you like. You don't even need to have to bound them into a book. But to bound it into a book, a fiber book, is easier to, go through and easier to present, especially if you have space problem like me, that you would like them to organize in a better way. If you have loose page, and it could easily, missing one or two, your kiddos will still, some of them, my kids will do that. And on, you probably will forget about that. And if I make into a book, I may put them in the shelf, or I may give that away. I may bring that along to show to my stitching friend. I could even sell them. So yeah, so that's the beauty of finish that off. But I only do that when I have a bit of mood. My mood change a lot. If I feel stressful, a little bit unhappy, I just couldn't do that. My brain couldn't function well if I'm under stress. Yes, so don't do that when you have a lot of things going on. Only do that when you really have peace of time and you are ready. How could you know when it's ready? Some people will ask me, friends say, oh, how could you know whether you want to do that or not? How could you know it's the moment? I'm like, well, it's pretty hard to say, because everyone is different. But if you spend enough time with yourself, like me, then you know very well of yourself. There's a type of persons who love to spend time with people, like my child. She absolutely likes spending time with other people. But for people like me, I prefer to stay by myself. Every day I long for time being alone, because when you're in the workplace, you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. You talk all the small talk that is nothing important. And at home, other family member just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. It's the things that nothing interests you. Like my mom will talk about what do you want to eat, and who she meets, and their daughter and in-law doing something. I'm like, nothing to do with me. I don't even know this person. And she would just talk on and on and on and on and on. And then when my daughter's coming home, and she would talk about things she's doing in school, again talking about kids that I have no idea who it is, and then talking about her imaginary friend as well. And then my husband came, and he will talk about things that make me angry. Something like, oh, I don't think I can take the annual leave for a week. And I would say, why? And he'll just say, I just don't want to use my annual leave. Fantastic. So yeah, every day I would just talk to myself. I wish I lived in a bubble. Yeah, my dads live a bit far away from all of us. Sometimes people will ask, is your parents divorced? Why are they living apart? What's going on? Are they still being together? I'm like, yes, they've been together, but they just don't like living with each other. I think that's because it's hard to understand, it's hard to explain, but I understand my dad because I'm those type of person who love to live by themselves. My dad just love to be alone and he's super independent. He can take care of himself and occasionally he will come over, stay with us for a weekend, and sometimes we will go over to stay for weekends. But because my mom loved people, he would rather live with us. But my dad don't like that, so he lived by himself. That's the perfect scenario, the perfect arrangement. So if we force them to live together, nothing good come out. They did try, and I think at the end everyone hates everyone. So yeah, it's really weird family arrangement, but somehow it worked. But at the moment I can't live away from my family because my daughter need me, I need to go to work. But in my heart I would rather live far away from my family. So I think that's why I never have problem when I go overseas to study in Australia. I come from China to Australia at 2008. At that time, how old am I forgot, but I just graduated from university after the bachelor degree. I think it's 20-ish something. And a lot of people suffer from living alone by themselves, and they feel so lonely. They have to go out together, like karaoke, having a dinner together, going to school together, going to the library together, and even go to toilet together. I don't understand. I absolutely have no problem. I so enjoyed the time, that 2 years without anyone attached to me. I do write letters back home, but I don't particularly miss being at home, if I have to say. I enjoy my freedom. I can do whatever I like. I can even walk at night. Don't bother anyone rob me. I don't afraid of that. When the overseas student come, they will afraid to walk in the dark, always afraid that people will rob them. But reference in University of Sydney is in reference, and it's pretty famous for being get robbed. I walk every night, almost every night, at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and from university to reference stations, but I never get robbed. So yeah, I enjoy the time being alone, and I don't afraid of that. You may call me naive, but I just don't afraid. I just enjoy my time, because I've been a lot of Chinese young people, they have to live with their family for many years, because it's hard to get a jobs like in Australia or in Western country. Not that we are lazy and not willing to go out to work, but the work opportunity is not many, to be honest. I used to apply for job in McDonald's in China, in Guangzhou. It is so hard. Do you know how much money they pay? 5 RMB an hour, which makes $1 an hour, without food, without break. You have to pay by yourself, and you have to smile all the time, and you have to keep working every minute, every second. I'm not joking, it's every second. So I go there and try for a day, and even I don't have any experience, I ask, or I'm willing to learn. So I was given to do everything every minute. The supervisor saying, oh, when you have nothing to do, you go to take the rubbish out, you take the spray to spray, clean the table, and if you finish everything, then you had to smile to whoever walk in, and saying something like, oh, welcome to McDonald's, and when anyone going out, you say, thank you for choosing us. To be honest, I never see anyone in Australia saying and doing the same thing. No one in McDonald's will smile at you all the time and then saying welcome to McDonald's and goodbye and thank you for choosing us. No, it's very Chinese stuff, and it became a thing that is so, I don't know, so anti-human. And you have to put on this face smile all the time, and keeping something to please the customer. So there's a Chinese customer get used to being served like gods. You go everywhere and you were treated like a god. And if they got not something different, for example, if they go to Japan and people not treating us like gods, they get angry. I think they are so spoiled. Chinese customer is very, very spoiled. Am I right to say that? Okay. So after a day, that work almost exhausted without even lunch, they tell me, nah, we can't use you because you didn't smile enough. So yeah, you got fired because you didn't smile enough. Wow. So not that I don't try, I did try, but if they reckon I didn't smile enough, then what can I do? And to be honest, it's very hard to smile every minute, because we are human, we are not robots, and it's hard to being fake, and just at the end of the day, your face muscles became so stiff that I can't even move my jaw. I'm so stiff. I'm like, I can't talk because I'm smiling. I didn't exaggerate anything. It actually happened. And I did try, working in occasions that are like a casual job. But when I think back, I don't think that's a legal job for teenagers. So so there's like a bridge competition. It's not a bridge, but something that you play poker. And then we were told to dress like a bunny ladies. I think I am 16 years old-ish, and then I have to serve the car, and then calculate the the school. You know, dressed like a sexy bunny lady. I'm not even sassy. So I earned 2 days pay, which is nothing. But just you can't find any job opportunity before you reach to a legal age. And it's hard to earn money without a diploma or anything. And then I try, buying flowers from the wholesale market and then sell to people who walk past us. I use a few buckets to hold the flowers, and my friend and I sell them in front of the supermarkets. I did sell some of them, and then on Valentine's Day we go to the riverside and ask everyone, handsome boys, do you want to buy some flowers to your girlfriend, etc., something like that. It's quite, you need a lot of courage to say things like that. And I do remember an incident, like there's like two people walking toward us, and then I approach them, say, sirs, would you like to buy flowers to your girlfriend? And then the girlfriend say something like, I'm a boy. So yeah, so it's a boy and a boy walking, but just there's a boy that look like a girl, and I say, would you buy a flower to your girlfriend? So they laugh, and I'm very embarrassed, but you have to carry on. So, and what else I try selling in like a spring festival, but there's nothing, not many good things happen. Yeah, it's just very hard to earn money in China if you teenagers. So I done one. Is it good? Is it blending well? I think it's okay. It's not perfectly straight, but it will work. It will work. I don't want the binding too bulky, so I will do the rest off camera and I will come back. Okay, so I have finished stitching into signature into this strip of fibers, and then I think of like stacking them all together and bind it as one signature, but I feel that if I stacking them, it would be too bulky. It's not like it just doesn't lay really flat, so I thought I would do like that. So I will bind 3 separate signature. I first fold this felt half, and I do a bit of marking here and here, and then I pin down this middle signature. After this, I done this one and this one with bit of gap. So now I just need to stitch this down, all these 3 signatures stitched down, and then I will attach the files to the cover. Okay, I have sewed the binding down. I use the machine because I don't bother, and because this size will be cover, so it won't show the stitchings. So I guess that's fine. Yeah, sometimes I like the help of machine, and it's looking good. And after this, I will stitch this whole thing down, but I'm not quite sure whether it will lay absolutely flat without flopping out, so I have to see. And I will do this with applique stitch, I guess. Okay, I'm start applique or stitch the fell to the background or to the cover. And it's pretty easy to do actually. It's not as hard because some people may think, oh, how could you make sure it's not stitched through all layers? I let's say like that. Your finger can feel it. Your needle is insert. You know, this is your stitch. Your needle is bringing a little bit backward. It's like a tiny back stitch, and then you bring a needle up with a little bit angle, and your finger on the left can feel it. Because the angle is up, this needle won't go through the layer, but in case that it go through, your finger can feel that. And when you pull the threads, trying to pull it slowly, otherwise it's easily get tangled. Some people, if they not really familiar with applique, when they stitch needle, they likely to stitch the needle before, in front of the stitch that you just did, which is here or here. But it will make the stitch very easily come off. So you bring a little bit backward with a bit of angle, stitch through. Use your left hand, the other hand, to feel the needle, and then it will become very easy. Stitching the fell is the easiest way. That's why a lot of people like to work on fell, because you don't need tuck in. You don't need to tuck in nicely with the edge, and it's so soft and nice, and easy to hide the knot. It has so many benefits. But to be honest, I'm not a fan of fell, because it's a bit fluffy and it's so easy to stick some loose threads and dust. And when you wash that, if it's not 100% wool, then it can easily have the, what is say, peeling. Yeah, it's like, doesn't look good. And if you use 100% wool, that will be really expensive. And also, if you have to wash that, you have to be careful, because wool is stringable under hot, cold, extreme temperature. So there's not and any type of fabric is not perfect. I have fell because I got it for my daughter's craft, and then somehow I still have a lot of that, and I'm determined to use all of them. Okay. So from time to time, you check whether you stitch through all layer. Well, it's not end of the day if you did stitch through all layers. It would be great if you keep tidy, I guess. I usually won't use bright colors like that, but this one is mainly red and pink, so I think it's alright to be bright and red. So I will do the rest off camera and I will come back show you what I have achieved. Okay, I have finished the fabric book. I will talk about some key moments when I make it. So I have already explained how I make them as a signature and how I attach the file to the cover. I did mention that to use one finger of the other hand to feel the stitch, but actually there's some stitch through. I think that maybe because when I go through the spine it's a bit hard to feel because I have to hold very thin edge, but it's okay, and just have a tiny bits. So after I done it, the book is actually laying quite flat. There's no like alligator mouth. It has a little bit, but not too serious. And then I thought of whether I should add a closer. It's perfectly fine, but I did think about not adding the closer, but when I go through the buttons, I think this one matched the piece quite well. It's kind of like bring the whole cover brighten up a little bit. So I decided to use this method to add just a simple closures like the needle book that I make. If you see, you can see I have this braiding by yarn and thread, and then just simply tied it half circle or one circle, and it will stay close. So it's pretty handy if you want it close securely. So but because I already sew everything up, so it's a little bit tricky to thread through this and hide the end. So what I do is to use double up threads. So I thread through here, go through the layer of the cover, and then back. So there's two strands of the same colors, and then at the end, after I thread through 3 colors threads, I have 6 strands of threads, and then I braid it and tie with a simple knot and trim it, and as simple as that. And it can loosely hand it, and then it will stay closed, so you can just put it in the bag or bring it anywhere you like. You don't need to worry about the page shifting. You can also add some charms and beads at the end, but I think it's alright to stay as simple as that because the whole thing is already very colorful. I don't want more embellishment, dangling beads and that to take out the shine of it. So I will go through the whole thing so you will see once for all. So yeah, color matching inside is actually quite soft. So I put them in random order, and you can see the sewing here. Oops. Yeah, I actually quite like this one. I think this one is my favorites. My daughter really loved this book, and she said, "Is it for me?" I'm like, "Well, you can of course look at it, play with it. We can all share together." And then she started looking at all the page, and she say she loved this one the most. And also this one, she says she loved this one. I think that's because there's a lot of gold. She's like golden, you know, sparkling color. So that's it. Very simple structure, simple collage, slow stitching. Nothing really fancy. Use up whatever you have and then make them into a nice little book. I didn't realize that it actually looks like a waterfall once I open it. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm not quite sure whether anyone used this method of binding. Probably there's a lot of people already doing that, but this is the first time I'm doing fiberboard. You use these methods, and well, to be honest, I didn't see other people using these ways. It's kind of like come out of my head. Yeah, and I like it, and I liked making all this page from the beginning to the end. I like every single of that. So will I make something similar? Yeah, absolutely. I will make probably with different color scheme, more like a color study. If you see my other slow stitching, a simple one, but a bit of concentrate on playing with colors, or I may make a fiber book with only mini house, because this is my exceptions. I don't know yet. So far, yeah, this one more done. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.